Welcome back, everyone. And this is the fifth installment of the Laketober series. I know it's a bit late, and the sixth one is going to be late, quite unfortunately, but alas, this is the way that the cookie crumbles. This is the prompt of Ron Heavy Ron, and for this one, I'm not ashamed to admit I kind of just recreated that one Javi drawing that already sort of won me a position in the Laketober sort of Hall of Fame in the past. Except for this one, I decided to just draw Javi and being chased by several shadows in front of a very mysterious background. Samsara Room, a prequel to the entirety of Rusty Lake, and a rather unfortunate drawing, all things considered. This one is, I think this one is just a victim of a skill issue on my part, mainly because I had no idea what to do with Samsara Room until like the very last minute, as I often do with characters that I've already drawn like 3, 4, 5, 6 times. This one is just it. A lot of my drawings for the latter part of the Laketober thingy are going to be flat. That's kind of like I've resigned myself to that particular fact. This one is just. It may be one of the most flat things that I've produced, like, ever. So that's gonna be fun. Here's me just titling it ever so slightly. But yeah. Samsara Room suffers from a lot of the same issues that some of the previous titles did, that didn't really have a centralized theme or location. So the drawing was going to be awful as well. The White Door. Here you have the initial idea of what I wanted to do with the White Door, and that is just a 2-bit picture, something that I've never really done before and wanted to see if I can achieve. Spoiler alert, I couldn't. At least not on this scale and not with this particular prompt. Rob and the Shadow just did not go well together. At least not as a 2-bit drawing. I think that in that particular instance it was a very right choice to just abandon the idea of a 2-bit drawing and instead just focus on making something a bit creepy and monochrome, but, you know, still detailed. I've intentionally kept this particular image sort of just a lot of blank spaces and a lot of uneasy perspectives. I think this is one of those times where I couldn't get the angle right is actually a feature and not necessarily a bug. For this one, I just... there are a couple of drawings that suffer with a lot of unfinished, at least in my opinion, an unfinished sort of aesthetics. This one revels in the fact that it's sort of this empty, eerie picture. Yeah, I added Robert Hill. He does feel copy-pasted, even though, just as I said, I have just made a drawing of him. It's just not a very good one. You can't really recognize that it's Bob, but that's probably because he's just a guy. Like, he's a guy in a shirt and pants, so there's that. And then finally we have... Wait, not finally. Mental health and fishing. Probably my absolute favorite of the drawings for this month, for the month of Laketober. The reason being, I got to experiment with a lot of things that I've been doing incrementally throughout Laketober, things like angles and various like dithering styles that you can probably see me fiddling with in the background, trying to get the fill command just right. In the end, I sort of abandoned the idea of using sharp edges or mechanical sort of dithering in favor of, you'll see in a minute, sort of these like spirally, almost tentacly like patterns that I thought at the time reminded me personally of Van Gogh, and I don't think that I've conveyed that quite as well as I could have, but for this particular drawing, I think they work quite well regardless of that. I've done a lot of like very contrasty lighting and very cool sort of composition. At least I think that these are cool, and I think that at the end of the day, it's what matters the most. I put a lot of heart and soul into this particular drawing, and it might not necessarily be the height of technical accomplishment, but I quite enjoy it, especially how it looks from afar, sort of like a very, very impressionist drawing, and I think that sort of is the vibe. Now, finally, for this section is Rusty Lake Paradise fan art. I've already created a Rusty Lake Paradise fan art, and if I remember to put it in the video, I'm going to, but I don't think I will. The problem with the last one that I've made is it was just way too overcrowded and you could not see anything that was happening in the background. Well, this one is significantly more clear on account of every single character having a spot of their own. But regardless of that, I think that Paradise is still my least favorite game to draw, just because of the fact that it has truly so many characters, and every single one needs to be at the very least accounted for when it comes to this game. Otherwise it's not going to make sense. So here's a final slideshow of all of the drawings for the 5th batch of Laketober. I'm sorry that it took so long to get out. Both Eric and I have been extraordinarily busy. I think that I'll try to make the next one as quickly as possible before everything runs out. Until then, I will see you later. Peace out.